Welcome back to Hit the Gap for another week. We've had a couple good rounds, the last two. I think there's been some pretty close games, and round just gone, the first major bye round for the year, full of upsets. I'd say probably
every single game.
Yeah, almost. Maybe the Sharks, Eels, probably not so much an upset, just the fact that Eels were pretty well full strength, but
I think you could still argue it though, right? Because of you look at the Atkinson performance from like the couple of weeks prior when Nico was out, and it was perfect. It was sensational against the Storm. But this was embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, having Trindle there, they probably should have done a little bit better too, you would think.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Yeah, it wasn't a massive blowout or anything, but yeah, I think having that full strength Eels sort of gave them a little bit of hope with Gutho and Moses back in there. I didn't really get to watch too much of that game, unfortunately, so we'll talk about those soon. But as you can probably tell, we are in the spirit of Origin. We've got our Canes Crew headpieces here, which we're actually going to be giving away. We'll talk about that probably toward the end of the episode there, but I'm thinking we might give one away for Origin Game 1 and then one for Game 2 in the potty before that. But yeah, keep an ear out. We'll talk about how you can score one of these. They're quite stylish, actually. Yeah.
It's the eyes that do it for me.
Yeah, it is. They gaze deeply. We'll anything about the round just been, we'll go over them real quick because I mean we probably want to keep it pretty Origin centric, I reckon, for this one. We'll have a look at the teams and whatnot. But round 12, you had that Bulldogs Dragons game, massive blowout. Yeah, massive blowout. Dragons just I don't know what happened there. Sort of they lost the edge and that was it. They were gone from that point on.
They look so good in that for 10 minutes. You know, they looked great for 10 minutes. And then, oh boy.
Yeah, 44-12. The last probably 20 minutes, half an hour of that game, it was just all Bulldogs just piling points on.
Yeah, it's really, there's not really many more words for it other than just an absolute humping. You know?
Yeah.
They just, and they weren't stopping. If you gave them an extra 20, I think they could have gone more.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have stopped.
Yeah. Easily 60. The next one, the Cowboys game. Cowboys coming away with the win, 42-28, scoring some late points in the end there just to lock it up. But that was it was a little bit close there for a while. I mean, Tigers had a lot of fight in them, and Cowboys, as per usual, you know, a bit of average defence, allowing a few forwards or middles to go over. Twal picking up his second ever try there.
And I mean, I'm obviously stoked that that Reece got the Origin call up for this one, but.
Robson, yeah.
Geez, Appy's been done hard to not get that. I reckon he's putting that Tigers team on his fucking back, man.
Yeah, definitely him and young Lachlan Galvin as well. Still managing to really carry the team. I would say.
I just think he played sensationally against us.
Yeah,
I think he kept them in the game the entire time. And like right up until that last probably 10-15, it was pretty lock on, pretty locked in. It was pretty tight.
Yep.
And then we ran with it. So.
Yep. Yeah, got away with the win, piling some points on the end there. Sea Eagles Storm, the next Friday game there, 26-20. That was one that I think everyone was sort of looking at. I think I had my money on the Storm for that one, but
also had Storm.
Yeah, albeit close. The Eagles, they didn't really look like they weren't sort of too bad without Turbo there, you know, they seem pretty comfortable.
DCE had a blinder.
Yeah, definitely.
Jeez.
Yep.
For an old bloke, he doesn't show it.
yeah, getting on, but still peak performance. You know, injuryless. He doesn't pick up any injuries, and he just seems to be maintaining that form real well. Yeah, exactly.
Given the season that is, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yep. We'll hope for the best for everyone that hasn't gone down just yet. The next game, Raiders Roosters 44-16, taking that one away. That was probably one I think most people would have picked or would have expected. I think anyway.
Well, like I feel like this still shocks some people in a sense. Well, not so much the actual result, but the scoreline. Yeah, the scoreline. I mean. For a standard sticky team, you know, this was odd to see them just give up like halfway through. It was just that they came out in the second half and they just didn't give a singular fuck. Roosters just came out and just humped them.
Yeah,
to death.
Yeah. For the Raiders, we know, like you were saying, Ricky Stewart team to be so stalled on defence and that, and even be pretty tough about it most times. It's a bit hard to watch them. They the way they play, it's annoying rather, not hard to watch. But yeah. Next game, Panthers Sharks. This was insane. 42-0. Not a single point put on by the Sharks. I know Hines did go down relatively early with for a concussion. He went off with a head knock, but just because of his calf, they've been keeping an eye out on. I think he had a bit of a complaint about it. So whether it was a little bit of preservation, not to, like you just mentioned, all the people we've had with lower body injuries and soft tissue injuries and stuff like that.
But that said, to hold him to 0 at Shark Park, man.
Yeah, pretty big effort. Luai did quite well on the 7. Any questions?
Not only did he have a very incredible game from Luai, but the other thing I wanted to mention was Mitch Kenny.
Yeah.
He gets in heads.
Probably their best, if not one of the top fucking 3, maybe, that game. I think you're right, exactly right. He's taken Appy's spot over pretty well. He's definitely coming along. A lot of kicks from dummy half and things like that. They just pinpoint. He's got a lot of.
There's a bit of Marnie about him.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you're right. A bit of niggle as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Next game was Rabbitohs Eels. This one was rather surprising. 42 to the Eels 26. The Rabbitohs coming away with the win on that. Just after the season the Rabbitohs have had so far, you wouldn't have thought they would put on such a big score like they did. There was a point there where it sort of seemed like Eels were in it, but again, they just sort of, I guess, faded a bit.
This was also the week where if you were a big boy, if you were a forward, you were going over.
You were getting a try.
You were going up.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a good week for forwards. I think in every single game, a 10, 11, 12, or 13 scored.
Yep.
Which is
unheard of. Unusual, very unusual.
Even 12 went over for a second, so there was some sort of wacky omen going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think Jai went over in this game as well.
Yep, Arrow did. Yeah, multiple times possibly.
I think
even got
1
2.
or 2, yeah. That's Keon actually. Keon got over as well. Yep, finally.
Yep.
Finally the week that I don't put money on him, of course.
Yep.
But I mean, everyone was going over this week, but for the Rabbits to really come out and do that, it was look, it's not going to save the season. I think they're still fucked, but
yeah.
But I think it
was a good effort. They've been building. It's 100%. Something they've been building too. Yeah,
it was very necessary.
Yeah.
And I mean to not discredit the Bunnies at all, or even hang shit on the Eels, but the Eels are statistically the worst second half team in the comp currently.
Yeah. Yep.
So to see what the Rabbits came out and did within that second half, it was like, yeah, this is good.
It was good to see.
This is good to see, finally.
Yep. And Broncos Titans coming away with a win. That was the upset. It was only by 2 points, but it's all that matters. That's all you need. Titans, as we've said, they've been building ever since the start of the season. A few poor showings, and whether it's maybe just taken a little bit to buy into or click onto Dez's coaching methods, I'm not too sure, but starting to show, fruits of their labour. I mean, it's, again, they're not, the season's not over for them, but it's a very tough run. They're likely,
they got one of the harder runs.
Yeah, they're likely going to have to really fight it out for a top 8 spot, even if it's at the bottom there. But
they've also had most of their buys already gone.
Yeah, exactly. So they're definitely got an uphill battle. But another good showing from them by probably just. I'm not too sure. I didn't actually watch that game. I was at work on Sunday for that one, but. Some of the tries and plays I saw from Keanu Kinney at fullback there were quite astounding, I thought.
They've definitely got a bit of depth to their side now, and I think now that they're all starting to actually click and take note of what Des is trying to get into their heads.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is Fafita coming out and actually saying, "Yeah, look, I've sat down, I've had chats.
Yep.
I'm actually starting to believe what Des is saying.
Yeah.
And
buying into it.
Results are actually going to start showing.
Yeah.
And they are, and it's great. And I think we're only going to see more and more results from them.
Yep.
Which is fantastic.
Yep.
I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Always good to see the Queensland teams prosper, especially coming back from some tough tough months.
Bloody oath.
Now, the last game, Warriors-Dolphins. I had Dolphins in this one, but Warriors, it was Warriors' home game, so you'd be silly not to tip them, but just the team again, it wasn't a last-minute swap to having not no names, but a bunch of ragtag people in different positions. I think they actually all played as the run-on team as they were named, but did quite well, the Warriors. That side's actually got a bit of go about them.
It does.
Not debutantes as such, but a couple people that probably fringe first graders and people not playing out of position, but not in their usual position in this team, doing really well. I think Tamare
Martin's doing well, and Tuapiki as well.
Yeah.
Tuapiki.
Definitely two worth mentioning for sure. Yep.
I think the other one to mention with that is I think if this game had another 5 minutes, there might have been a different result, because this was like the Warriors were absolutely spent at the end there.
Yeah,
like they were struggling, but it was a good hard fought game to watch. So
probably one of the better ones of the round. And we'll move on to round 13, round just gone. So as we were talking about earlier, the Eels versus the Sharks. Now this one, not a massive, only 12 points in it, but the Eels now having their full strength side, I think it was brought a bit of confidence in that, but just that direction they needed back. Dylan Brown could go back to playing 5/8.
Geez, how good does he look now that he doesn't have to actually
control
focus
or run
and try
the team.
And control stuff.
When
he's just free flowing.
Yeah, stick to his game, what he's good for, and Moses coming in and doing just that. He's it was good to see that he's actually back to being fit and ready to play. They didn't rush him back too early and whatnot, so hopefully he can continue on in good health and whatnot. But yeah, Eels definitely needed it.
There is one thing that I would probably add to that is that I think could be potentially controversial call, or at least argued for sure.
Yeah.
I think Blaze is better than Gutho. I feel like Gutho really didn't offer much, and unless there's stuff that we don't see, like the team uplifting, or like what he says and what he does in that sort of regard, like the leadership side of things. But purely from a play perspective, I think I rate Blaze higher than I rate Gutho.
Yeah, so obviously the experience isn't there, and he does need a lot more time in the position to not come good, but to build into it. But yeah, if they were to both have the exact same amount of experience, or they've played the exact same amount of games in that position, I think you're probably right. You'd say Blaze is the one that's going to suit it more, or probably who they'd be looking at going forward. It wouldn't be.
I think I would just like to see just a game or two where it's Moses as 6, Brown as 7, and Blaze as fullback. And if Gutho is still a center or something like that, who cares? I'm not too sure. But I would like to see a game where you've got Blaze really playing that sort of aggressor like he does normally from that fullback position. And pairing up with those halves and seeing what he can get done. I think that's dangerous. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see that maybe getting a run or something like that maybe in the near future, depending who takes over coaching or whatever, and if Blaze does stay, if they re-sign him. But yeah, possibly something that you might see in the future for sure. I think you're right. Next game being the Knights Bulldogs. Now this one. Maybe I wouldn't say. I mean, the score again. I wouldn't say an upset as such, but the score line definitely. I don't think anyone predicted that. 32 points to 2. The Dogs they're still on a roll at the moment. Having young Sexton in the side as well as Hutchinson, I think, for this game.
I mean, the fact that they've got no Critter, they've got no Kickout, they've got no Burton.
Yep.
I think everyone went into this game going, "Well, this is a fucking whitewash."
Yeah, I
think that's what happened.
It probably would have been an upset considering that. Yeah, exactly right. You're right, taking that into account. Definitely, it was a side you would have thought, well, most of their strong or stronger players that have the experience are out. So
the only people that Knights were missing was Ponga and Best. That's it.
Yeah.
So going into that, it was like, oh, look, they're probably gonna have issues. Dogs probably gonna have issues down that left edge. Since seeing as there's no kick out, they're probably gonna get ran out there, and Jerry's gonna get ran out a bit. But it just didn't happen.
Yeah,
Armstrong, which he normally goes through there, he just didn't play for the ball really at all.
Yeah.
For some reason they got a sin bin penalty. They got a sin bin penalty. I think in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
I think it was. and they took the 2.
Yeah, for some odd reason.
For some reason, I think that was what really killed it for me. Because the moment I saw that, I'm like, oh fuck,
yeah,
here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
They took that 2, and then they just didn't play the game again.
Yep.
So
yep.
And they got another sim bin, and they still didn't play the game. Like, wild.
Yeah, odd, very odd showing. Hopefully, it's something the Knights can shake out. But you're right. Yeah, a lot of players not really playing to their potential, or what we've seen in the last few weeks, anyway.
Well, they just didn't. There was just nothing going at all. Like,
yeah,
their attack was
2022
Cowboys.
Yeah, yep.
Like, it was so whack.
Yeah. Probably the biggest upset of the round for this next game was the Dragons and Panthers. Dragons 22 to the Panthers 10.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, again, Panthers are without a few players. They do have Yo out. Luai is out as well, but it was quite surprising. The bits and pieces I did see, they just didn't really seem to have anything in attack or defense.
I think what you really noticed more than anything about this side, because Dane Laurie actually was having a crack.
Yeah.
But he did. You could tell that he hasn't really done that much with the team.
Yeah.
Because people were not on the same page, 100%.
Yeah.
So fair enough on that regard. Is what it is. But what you really noticed about this game more than anything is the lack of Liam Martin and Yo.
Yeah.
Oh my, they could not get up the field. Not only could they not get up the field, they could not get the ball to a winger. There was nothing going on. It was just, man, it was a schmozzle.
Yeah.
It's a miracle they've got 10 points.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, and Dragons, again, with a few out as well, due to Origin, they just seemed to capitalise on that. And they did, at first, I think the Panthers were first points on the board or whatever, but Dragons...
They looked hot for 10 minutes.
Yeah, Dragons just came back and, did well, maintained it.
Without Hunt and without Lomax.
Yep. Two of their probably more potent players on the team, or point scorers anyway. And next game was...
No Sewer either, actually. That was another big one that was out.
Sewer? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yep.
He's a big one who goes through the middle, so yeah.
Yep. Next game on Saturday was Dolphins Raiders. Now, this one went right down to Golden Point, as I think it might have... Was it last year, maybe? I think they played. Raiders coming away with the win with 1 point. I think the worst person on field that could have won them the game with that field goal.
Yep.
No one wanted to see that except a Raiders fan, but...
Especially not Dolphins fans.
Yeah, no, it was. Dolphins had their chances in that Golden Point. Osako just couldn't lock it up. Unfortunately, there were a few odd calls there. I think there was a really weird penalty for Max Plath. I think in the end there, changing his line and impeding a player from attacking the kicker. I think. Which I'd have to go back and watch it again just to double check it. But the replay I saw, I think Max may have thrown his arm out or stepped to the side, and
no, he moves his arm out like this.
Okay, and the attacking player makes contact with it.
Yeah, it's a dumb rule, but it's a rule, so you can't even hate it. That's the worst part. Actually, no, you can hate it. You can definitely hate it
because any other time it won't get ruled on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's one of those inconsistency one that if it gets picked up, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But rule nonetheless, like you're saying,
sucks.
They played for that penalty, or they played. Competed and
Rapana got 2 field goals in one game. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is also the first time he's ever kicked a fucking field goal. So.
Yeah. Did
wild.
well to come away with the win there. And the last game of the bye round was, I would say, an upset as well, arguably. Just in terms of, team depth and whatnot. Cowboys playing with five of their first grade squad out due to Origin. Roosters with 2 or 3.
6 for Cows.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 for Roosters?
6 for Cows, 4 for Roosters.
4 now with Teddy out as well. Teddy was a late out, getting the call up.
Unfortunate, Dylan.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, yep. But still, Roosters just, I think, errors and sort of thing. Walker, as per usual, Sam Walker, quite potent with their attacking and whatnot with his kicks in that, but there were just a few errors, a few people doing silly things. Manu shifting back to fullback, probably trying to do a little bit too much.
A little bit too much, I agree.
Yeah, we know
that was what I was going to bring up.
We know how great he is at fullback when he plays there. And
the dude set the record run meters as a fullback, like literally
doing the
a few
exact
weeks
same
ago.
thing, filling in for Teddy at fullback for Origin or something like that. It was anyway.
No, it was a few weeks ago for when he got the head knock.
Okay, did he break it? Because he said it a while ago as well.
Yeah, so 300.
He may have set the last one and then broke it with what you're talking about. A few errors, I think, making it hard for the Roosters. Dom Young, especially at the end there. A few silly plays or just trying to do a bit too much himself as well, possibly. And Cowboys improving, although the defense isn't where it should be. Still improving to a bit, I think, which is worth looking at or mentioning.
I believe it was still 49 miss. It was actually reversed on what normally happens with the Cows, which is strange.
Yeah.
Our midfield defense this week was a bit wacky.
Yep.
It was a bit wacky.
Yep.
49 missed tackles overall, I believe it was.
Yep.
But yeah, I have to say that from a defensive standpoint, Tamalolo really stepped it up. Drinkwater stepped up in the midfield, but he still lacked pretty heavily on line defense.
Yep.
I think Braden Burns was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely filling in on the wing.
Both attack and defense.
Yep.
I think the one thing you really got to highlight out of this game is, Manu overplaying his hand 100%, and just how bad defensively Dom Young and Jennings are.
Yeah.
They had a rough night. So
yeah, it wasn't great, and it was. I mean, Jennings getting moved into the centres there. He was on the interchange, I think, in the centres last minute.
And we know Dom Young can attack he's
like
one of the best attackers in the game.
Yeah, there were a few times there. I mean, when he did make errors in letting the ball go toward the end there, he almost looked like he was away, he would have been away.
I think it was just the frustration got to him a little bit. And he started screwing up the attack as well. So we're lucky on that.
Looked like he pulled up a bit lame toward the end. He was a bit sore, so probably didn't have that full range or full speed like usual.
Yeah.
Awesome. We might do what we're here for now anyway and move on to the preview of Game 1 State of Origin for 2024. We'll run through the sides real quick. First of all, now it is in Sydney, Game 1, so we'll look at the New South Wales side. Lining up at fullback due to a hamstring, or quad injury, during the week, unfortunately for Dylan Edwards, is James Tedesco getting the call back up. Fortunately, he doesn't get handed the captaincy back, but he does get another game. He lives to play another game in the Origin arena, at least for this one.
You do have to give condolences once again to Dylan, because he well and truly deserves his shot.
Yeah, very unfortunate. And,
well and truly.
That's the Madge has shown his hand. If Tedesco has a good game, he may maintain that fullback jersey or at least a spot in the side, but it's going to be Dylan Edwards' spot sooner rather than later. So it's unfortunate and probably very disappointing to himself, but I don't think he's going to be too far off.
If not this year, Tedesco. It's next year.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, exactly right.
Without a doubt.
And Brian To'o on the wing, Stephen Crichton, Joseph Suali'i on the other centre to Crichton, and Zach Lomax on the other wing.
Now that Suali'i is going to be deadly.
Yeah, dangerous.
Deadly.
Yeah, I do like that. It's probably not left field, but probably, you'd think there might have been a couple other options there as well they might have looked at. But, I definitely think it's going to be quite potent having him in the centres there. And as opposed to him coming onto the wing, playing in the centres where he's been playing for the Roosters is probably going to be pretty handy as well. Hopefully.
Realistically, I think Madge is also just being a little bit experimental and stepping out here as well, which, in my opinion, is probably the most necessary thing more than anything. Probably the biggest difference, without even playing a game, just from Freddie alone, is actually having the balls to sort of go, I'm doing something different. This is what I'm going to do.
Moving away from that Panthers formula.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. As we said, Lomax on that other wing. We'll see how he goes. He's finally getting to debut in the Origin arena. His name's been floating around for a few years. He did drop off. He had a lull in his form the last year or two, probably, which saw him drop out. But
it is kind of funny to see him come in as a winger, though.
Yeah, exactly right. I think there was a little bit of banter about, does he tell Madge, hey, thanks, but no thanks, mate. I don't want to be a winger, so here's your jersey back. But obviously, it's good enough for Lomax, for Origin anyway. He'll knuckle
suck
down.
It up.
He'll knuckle down, suck it up, and have a go. The halves pairing.
How is it not? If it's that such of a hard pressing matter, just fucking switch jerseys with Suoli, bro. Far out.
The 5/8 and halfback position, the halves pairing, which everyone was waiting with bated breath to find out, is Jerome Luai and Nico Hines at halfback. Hopefully for Hines, he is fit and he does stay fit with that calf. I'd say Sharks taking him off in that game, as we spoke about earlier, probably helped a bit with that, and they would have been managing it. So finally getting his opportunity, and deservedly so this year at halfback.
This does make sense, at least.
Yeah.
Like I think the only thing that would probably be happier for me from a competitive side of things would probably be Luai as the 7 and Moses as the 6.
Yeah, possibly.
That would probably be the only thing.
Other way, you mean? Sorry, yeah. You mean Moses coming in the 7 and possibly Hines in the 6? Is that what you mean? As 5/8? Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know where you're going with him. Yeah,
that's probably the only thing that would probably make me think would be the best combo, but wasn't available at the time, so they went with this. So this is a great compromise, I think. Yeah,
definitely. It's well, I won't say reminiscent. We haven't seen it yet, but you think back to Game 2 last year, where I think it was Moses and Luai. The pairing was just a little bit off, although individually they probably went all right. The pairing just wasn't there just yet. Whereas this one, yet to be seen. But I think, again, they should hopefully respectively do well in their positions. So all New South Wales supporters are hoping for the best, and it'll be good to see.
I think they're already going to be stoked, right? The fact that it's not a fucking Nico Hines center.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
goodness me.
And we know how good he is. So, I mean, I'm hoping he doesn't go too well, but he does deserve it. He does deserve the opportunity.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of football fans out there that are all thinking, thank fuck Madge has got this and actually doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. At prop and captain, we have Jake Trbojevic getting the call back up, which is good in my opinion. I think
thumbs up.
Yeah, yep. Reece Robson at hooker getting the call up. Now there isn't a out and out hooker on the bench there, so whether Robson plays the full 80 or not, which be probably a little bit of a test in the Origin arena, but he may do all right. I think he did that in Game 3 possibly last year when they won, but good to see Robson get the call back up. A little bit contentious, as you said. Appy's been quite good as well. I think there's a few New South Wales fans a bit bewildered or unsure just based on the Cowboys' form as a team. But yeah, Robson's been great.
I think there was a lot of arguing about it, but I think if you look at individual stats,
yeah, exactly.
Just
right.
Robson is the clear
out
winner,
out
by far.
Yeah.
Cowboys form or not.
Exactly right.
And I mean, even really Tigers form or not, I think it's probably exactly also right. Really just a little bit of bias because of the Queensland team versus a New South Wales team. But I think realistically, if the people that are actually whinging about that go and have a look at stats, maybe they won't whinge.
Yeah,
so
exactly right. With Payne Haas, your prop number 10, Payne Haas, Liam Martin in the 11, Angus Crichton number 12,
Big.
And Cameron McGuinness there at lock. Now that's probably one thing. It's good to see McGuinness get a go as well, but I think if need be, say something happens to Robson, hopefully it doesn't, but happens to Robson or he does need to swap or have a break, you could possibly see McGuinness go into
even Yo
into hooker there, or even Yo, and then moving on to the interchange there, Isaiah Yo at 14, whether he slides into the lock position, his natural position, or does jump on at hooker there. We'll never.
I can see it going either way, really.
Yeah. With Homole Olakau'atu finally getting the call up. There's a few debutants this year, and deservedly so for some of them. Exactly right. Olakau'atu's been on the verge. He's been on the fringe of getting an opportunity, and he
kind of cruel that he hasn't been picked. Yeah, before
exactly
now, really.
Right. Yeah, it's
and turncoat or not, I think he's going to pump. I think he's going to do so well.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be a threat. I mean, probably more so than how they had Hudson Young or Pangai Jr. last year, I believe it was. They sort of brought them in. I think he's definitely probably that step ahead or step above.
See, I feel like a lot of teams aren't really ever worried too much about Hudson Young.
Yeah, yep.
I feel like anytime you go into a Manly game, you're worried about Olakau'atu every time. I think you're terrified of Olakau'atu because the dude's so big.
Yeah, definitely.
He's huge.
He's got that range, that leap, and that size.
Speed
he's
as
quite
well.
strong, and
he's very fast for a big fella.
Yep. With Spencer Leniu as well, getting the call back up. And Hudson Young, there's our mate Hudson Young we were just talking about, in the number 17. Reserves are Matt Burton, Luke Keary, and Mitchell Barnett. Mitchell Barnett getting a call up as well.
Finally.
Probably another one that's deserving of it, or not obviously playing at the moment anyway, but around the squad, hanging around.
He does not get talked about enough as a Warrior.
Yeah,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ, he's a gun player.
He was doing quite well at the Knights there, and then he's sort of gone off on the Warriors. I think he's been instrumental. He's definitely been instrumental in some of their form improvement and stuff like that over the last 2 years. We'll move on to the Queensland side now, the one that matters the most. Reece Walsh at fullback, probably no surprise to anyone there. It was only ever going to be out of him and Ponga if they were both fit anyway, if everyone was fit.
I think even if they're fit, I think just with the amount of gameplay that's been played this year, like actual raw gameplay, it's free for Walsh.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if they were both... So you kind of have to look at what Ponga's played. So if you go back to what Walsh had played up to where Ponga had played, I think there's probably still a little bit to look at between the two. But, yeah, out and out after Ponga's
just off
been
the,
out.
after the amount of games, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
It's got to be Walsh.
Yeah, there wasn't really anyone else that was ever going to get a go on there except possibly Brimpson or someone due to out of necessity due to injury, but we haven't had to worry about that.
Good follow-up.
Yeah. With Coates on the wing, Xavier Coates, who's been in marvellous form so far for Melbourne. Again, this year he's been very solid.
He's probably got 2 or 3 maybe tries now where they're probably all contentious for try of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Good to see him get the call up. We know we saw him debut when he was at the Broncos there, and off to Melbourne. He's only improved tenfold, so quite comfortable, feeling quite safe. You know what I mean, on that wing position there. Val Holmes in the centre, reprising his role as per usual. Hamasai Tabuai-Fidow on the other centre. Sorry, as we would have thought. With Murray Talangi on the wing, probably. We'll see how he goes. It's good that Billy's put faith in him. I do enjoy that. But someone that probably, I don't think he's played maybe enough games to lock that down. Yeah,
just
exactly
so
right.
So much injury throughout this year already so far, and last year as well.
Yeah.
But, I'm not 100% sold on the Talangi pick. And I know that, and I mean, even as a Cowboys supporter, like I'm not sold on that yet.
Yeah, I mean, even if he was picked possibly on the interchange, but I would have thought he would have had Cobbo or someone on the wing over Talangi, just based on sample size. You know what I mean? What they've played so far, but
I'd even be happy with Hammer on the wing and have Cobbo in the center.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Hoping all the best. We know Talangi's defense has proven well, or did well last year. A couple try-saving tackles and whatnot. So hopefully
even this year he's been pretty solid still in defense. Very very few missed tackles.
Yeah, hoping we can see that happen again. With Tommy Dearden making his debut on the 5/8 position this year. Great,
the deer, baby.
Yeah, great call. Again, Cowboys bias aside, doesn't matter if you don't believe me, but the right call was made there. Anyone and everyone saying Mam needed it. Yeah, or Mam should have been there. They're all blind faith Broncos fans, and I can understand, you know what I mean? You love your team and whatnot, but if you are honest with yourself, you sit down and look at it. As exciting as Mam can be, or explosive as he can be, he is a defensive liability. That's the fact of the matter. There's no arguing it.
It's the stats. The stats alone tell the story.
Yeah.
It's pure. Even if you wanted to go purely off defensive stats, it's definitely Deer.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go off attack stats, I think Mam edges out slightly on actual line aggressiveness.
Yeah.
But beyond that, that's not what wins the game, man. That's not what wins the game, especially when you're playing in 5/8. Hell no.
Yeah.
You need to see what your 6 does in defense.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
And the only other argument I've heard is, Cowboys are in dog shit form as opposed to Broncos, and you go, well, mate, that's, again, the most dumb shit I've ever heard.
Nothing for
Means
Origin.
absolutely nothing. Yeah, but anyway, Dearden getting his opportunity. Mam has still been picked. He is in the reserves, which is good. He does deserve to be there as well. There is no question about that, but I think we've seen Tommy do it.
Good choice considering the amount of fucking small people that keep getting lower body injuries this year.
Yeah, we've seen Tommy do it before. Arguably, the right pick, whether you're a Broncos fan or a Cowboys fan or not. As a Queensland fan, I think the right pick. But yeah, whether if he does, come out and he maybe doesn't have the greatest game or something happens, Mem's walking into that spot as well anyway. So, good. It'll be good to see how Tommy goes there, a full game. Daly Cherry Evans at halfback. We knew that was going to happen. We're safe as houses.
It's not even a question.
Safe as houses putting him there with Ruben Cotter at prop. Ben Hunt at hooker, Lindsay Collins getting the call back up, Jaden Sewer in the second row, which was probably a little bit contentious, considering he got picked over, someone like David Fafita or something. Nanai, the other second row, again, probably. I mean, he has been pretty decent.
I've mulled this over as well with the whole Fafita versus Sewer thing.
Yeah,
because that was my first thing when I saw that. I was like, man, this is. That's especially with Fafita's form coming back in now as well. It's like, it's a bit sus.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think at the end of the day, I've made peace at the fact that Billy definitely has the team's best interest here, and I think giving Sewer the opportunity for the future as well, is by far the better play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see how he goes, but I'm down with it.
Yeah. Again, doesn't mean Fafita's out of the side. He's not in it for game one. Fair enough, but I can't see him not being next in line or something to get a call back up as well. But it was a little bit. I think everyone was a little bit shocked to see Sewer get the opportunity over. For Fafita.
I also kind of like the idea of being a little bit more experimental with game one anyway.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
so
almost not blooding, but almost just having a muck around and see what you can set up. Yeah,
test him. We've got to get him ready for the future anyway.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 100%. Definitely. Patrick Carrigan in at lock. We saw that coming as well. Again, safe as houses. Bleeds Maroon. On the bench, we have Harry Grant in the 14. Obviously, himself and Hunt do the interchange there at hooker. Moe Fodawaka getting the call up. Jermaine Hopgood finally getting an opportunity.
This is the strange part as well. I love that he's finally picked. Thank God. Finally.
Yep.
We have 3 hookers. Or 3 natural playing hookers. I don't know what. I mean, obviously Hopgood's going to be playing center, I imagine, here.
I would say edge, probably, dude.
Maybe edge.
Yeah, he'll come on as an interchange edge or forward. I would think. Yeah, I mean, he will be utilised if need be, probably for a center, as we've seen.
There's going to be a moment here, at least in this, just because there's 3 of them. There will be a moment here where there will be all 3 on at the same time. That could be proving to be a very cool little pocket strat that Billy maybe has.
Yeah, potentially.
With screwing people around, people probably looking, they're looking for Harry to go into that 9. But Harry's out getting ready for something else,
Yep.
So I think you'll see a very cool little pocket strat off that, especially if there's a scrum.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from that. Bit of mind game there.
Very possibly could be some opportunity there for some set players or something. But yeah, Hopgood finally. I mean, he's another one. He's making his debut, but he's been on the fringe or on the verge of it the last year or two. I
think the other thing that's kept him out is that Grant and both Grant and Hunt are so prominent in the side.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Seeing him get picked in here tells me that Billy's got something planned.
Yeah,
there's an actual plan here, which is interesting. Well, so I mean, I'm keen to see.
Hopgood's been informed since he's been at the Panthers, but Panthers and then off to the Eels in that middle edge interchange role. Or
there's a reason he gets referred to as Hopgood.
Yeah, he's been running on as I think been utilised as a middle edge at the Eels mostly anyway, which has been his shining light the last couple of years. He's just broken into form and maintained that spot. Anyone that plays fantasy or Supercoach knows he's the pick of the last 2 years. You've almost got to have him in the side, but good for Queensland anyway.
Good defensively too.
Yep. And the last one, number 17 on the interchange, Selwyn Cobbo. Now this one we were talking about that with Talangi on the wing there. We thought it was a bit odd, but does make sense from a perspective of setting yourself up for potential injury or anything like that. And we have seen it happen every year. Something's happened and someone's had to play out of position or last-minute swap position and the game plan's changed.
And this year is probably more... It's probably more crucial than ever.
Yeah, Cobbo's got really good depth for that whole back line. He can slot into the fullback if need be. He can go to a wing if need be. He can go to a centre if need be. So we're not pushing an edge or a forward out to the centres or whatever. But I think Billy's even been quoted as saying if he needs to, he'll get a run in the middle if he needs to on the edge or in the middle.
He's tall enough.
Yeah, very very, very good utility there anyway. Utility pick from Billy, even though he's not getting the run on, or as of yet not getting the run on. We may see that change, but hopefully that will prove useful as well. Reserves for Queensland fullies, Kafusi, Brendan Piakura, and as we were talking about before, Ezra Mam. So a little bit of depth there, which is good.
Things I'm sold on.
Yep.
Kafusi.
Yep.
The Enforcer.
Yep.
The Commander.
Getting another go, or getting
Mr.
called
Burns.
back to the squad anyway. The Malteser.
We definitely need him in the side, 100%.
Yeah.
He's the beast.
That experience and aggression
100%.
and whatnot. Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Having him there is important, and I think that made sense.
Yep.
Ezra Mann being picked made sense.
Yep.
For the aforementioned reasons.
Yep.
Piakura.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what was the perplexing part, really, for us with, well, for me specifically.
Yep.
With not picking Fafita.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me think Billy's just doing this purely for experiment. That's it. It's just game one. Let's experiment. Let's get some new people in so that they know what they're doing if the time comes. That, especially given the amount of injuries that keep happening, if the game stays this quick.
Yeah. If they do get the call up.
If they get the call up, they're not going to be going in blind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what this is.
Yep.
Which is why I'm happy with it. But I think realistically, that's probably Fafita's spot if the shit goes tits up this week rather.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Exactly right. And probably again, good having him brought into the squad, like you were mentioning earlier. Just have
or
him
a top
around.
good spot, and Fafita moves into the starting side and Piakura out.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. But
Yep. Yeah, but like you were saying earlier, probably pretty good having Piakura around the squad. Just giving him that opportunity to be part of the training and whatnot, to see how it all happens, because Billy's obviously got raps on him as well. So whether
great attacker, still kind of needs to work on defense.
Yeah,
but
but yeah, whether it gives him that little bit of confidence, or like you said, just gets him ready for
blow him in.
Yeah, that's it. I am going to say it's going to be tough, I think, this one. Overall, I'm pretty... if I was a New South Wales supporter, I think I'd probably be pretty happy with the squad that Madge has picked for you.
Agreed.
Out of necessity in some positions, but out of what you've got at the moment on offer, or what is available, I think it's a pretty safe and good squad, man. I'm not feeling safe, or I'm not feeling overconfident as a Queensland supporter. You know, it's not like, oh, that's a ragtag squad that no one's going to no one's going to put money on. But
I think this is a low scoring game. I think it's a low scoring game. I think it's going to come down to big defense.
Yep.
We have a lot of big defensive players on both teams.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a very tight game for sure.
It, to me, and not so much, it's not the same, but it almost has a little bit of that 2020 Maroons, you know, the worst team feel about it, and not because it's the worst team, whatever, or worst squad ever, but they've all played, almost all played, and they are in form, respectively, in their positions and whatnot.
It's just the negative connotation and the underdog side of things.
Or it's just the fact, I think, that's it, that it's not that usual side, but some of them are just getting picked as second string or third string players, getting picked in those positions. I think, they're definitely going to be very dangerous, and they're going to be playing for Madge. I think Madge is going to have them firing, because he's going to need to come out of the gate good. Just even if they don't win, even if it's close, I think it's going to be a tough game. Yeah, tough game for Queensland.
Yeah.
Queensland overall as well. Some positions out of necessity. Obviously, Munster's down. He's probably not even going to be back for the Origin series this year.
No, not at all.
But
I think they already predicted 20 or 21.
Yeah, around 20 or 21. Yeah. I think for what we've got there as well, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm confident that we'll be able to put up a decent showing again, even if Queensland do end up losing somehow. They're not going to, but if they do, it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a good game to watch, and like you said, to your point, probably low scoring at that.
Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be built on defense big time.
Yep.
And this is probably one of the big situations looking at both these teams currently, and also just backing that defensive call as well.
Yeah.
I'm very, very glad that Tom Dearden is in this side.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's a single person in the league right now that defends like him.
Yeah, exactly right. We've seen all season so far. We've seen the try-saving tackles or
the
big
Scott
efforts.
Sattler.
Yeah, the Sattler one. Everyone, like you said, we said it earlier on. Everyone will be talking about it for years to come, and everyone's been talking about it all year anyway. But
fear the deer, baby.
Yeah, exactly right. Definitely top of the list in terms of people to replace Munster there. But what's Well, you got a tip or what do you reckon? What do you reckon for this one?
It's a good one.
Mm?
I think we're going to be seeing a Queensland win.
Yeah, yep.
12-14.
12-14. Very close. 2 points, yeah. Nice, very nice. I'm thinking something similar, although I was thinking, I don't know why these numbers have come to me, but I'm thinking as well, Maroons win, but 15-12.
Ooh.
Now, I'm thinking that 15, that one, comes obviously from a field goal, but yeah, I think it's going to be dying minutes sort of thing. Maybe the last 5 minutes or so, that field goal goes up to make it 15-12. But yeah, it's going to be...
Who's kicking in this New South Wales side, actually?
That is a good question.
It's got to be Lomax, right?
Field goals, you're talking? Hines, probably?
Well, actually, Nico Hines would be the field goal side of things, but in terms of
conversions,
probably Lomax, right? He's got the better percentage.
Possibly, yeah, Lomax. Well, you do have a few options there, but yeah, possibly Lomax or Hines. I have a feeling he's probably going to go with Hines, as long as Hines is fit. He's right to kick, you know what I mean? But either or, like you just said, the percentage is quite good, so you would think they'd... you'd think they'd be pretty safe there anyway.
Lomax rarely misses them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Hines, it can be shaky.
Yeah, it'll be the
except
opportunities.
for field goals. You back Hines 100%.
Yeah, it'll be the opportunities more so, whether they come from those conversions, come from penalties or off tries. But yeah. To your point earlier, I don't think there'll be that many tries put on. But
we'll obviously be going. It'll be Val kicking. Oh no, DCE actually. DCE.
Possibly, yeah, or Val may be taking the goal kicking duties, but yeah, I think
field goal will be DCE though.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think you're right, exactly right. Yeah, so 14-12 to you, to Maroons, and I'm going to say 15-12 to Maroons for me.
Either way, this is going to be epic. It's going to be tight.
Definitely. It's one of the best times of year for rugby league. We know everyone loves State of Origin. It's what we live for.
It's a staple.
That's it. It's exactly right. I think. In terms of giving these bad boys away, or at least the first one, I think we'll put our terms and conditions and whatnot in the posts about it. But if you have made it this far into the video, we might make it that you just either comment or send in somehow. You get back to us with both of our predictions, score predictions, and we'll pick a random winner and send it out before game one. Before game two, I should say. Game one's only a couple of days away at this point. Before game two, we'll get it to you, and we'll see what's happening from there. But I think that's probably about it for this week. Nothing else you want to bring up, or?
No, I think we're good.
Pretty good for now. Yeah, yep.
Go the Maroons.
As always, go the Maroons. Look forward to it. Look forward to the game. It's going to be good as always. So until next time,